Hey man, how you doing? All right. The pilot's getting in now. You all right, yeah?
I could have come down with a burger, man.
I know.
That's what I've been trying to get to know you. Even
Yeah, I knew it was all that wrong.
It's like
not big things I thought. The Lancastron's according to it. Yeah, you all right there, yeah?
Yeah, go on.
Good.
You've got some followers here.
Yeah.
Gang.
Yeah, that's it.
How many's going there?
9, but 6 will be in the flight path and 3 at the reserve. You know what I mean? 2 or 3 anyway. Well, pilot's getting now, so you're good. Alright, buddy, good to see you, man. I'll see you next week sometime as well, if you're staying.
Yeah, then I'm off, but I'm 2 weeks on Wednesday, I'll be off.
2 weeks Wednesday, okay, mate.
So I'll not be here for like a month.
I'll let them know. Nice one. How we doing, ladies, gents, and teddy bears? Welcome to Ted's home, RAF Coningsby, for the departures and arrivals of Troop in the Colour. And for those that are new, welcome to the show. It's the Ted Coningsby channel on a Saturday. So very shortly, we'll be having our Typhoons departing RAF Coningsby. Destination Buckingham Palace for Troop in the Colour. The King's birthday. Of course, it's the birthday of the British sovereign. Welcome to RAF Coningsby, for those that are new as well. This is home of 5 Typhoon squadrons and also the Bbmf, or Battle of Britain Memorial Aircraft, Battle of Britain Memorial Flight Aircraft, comprising of 1 Avro Lancaster, a Dakota C-47, a couple of Chipmunks, 2 Hurricanes, and a handful of Supermarine Spitfires. Here's our squadron leader, Ted Coningsby. My name's Nick, our Sunwheel cameraman, commentator and historian. Might as well add that to the title. Ted's getting all patriotic, and too right, so we should. Nice one, Teddy. So if you're wondering where the Lancaster is, that is at RAF Waddington. It took off this morning around about 8ish, and will be departing from Waddington to do various other fly paths as well today. Ted's getting a bit excited. I know, today is a good day, and we welcome all of you to the Ted Coningsby channel, live at Ted's home. So we should have 6 plus the reserve aircraft departing. So we could be looking at 8 or 9 Typhoons departing very shortly. Of course, because of the nature of this type of fly past, they will have reserves or spare, like they would do. So they won't actually take part in the actual fly past, the reserves, but should they need them, they're close by to stand by on hand. A very warm welcome to everyone that's tuned in. Thank you very much. Hope you're all good and well. RAF Coningsby home to 2 combat ready fighter squadrons, number 3 fighter and number 11 fighter squadrons. Number 3 squadron dating back its roots all the way to the Royal Flying Corps. Oh yes, they started out as number 3 Flying Squadron with the Royal Flying Corps, of course, before the 1st of April 1918, before Sir Hugh Trenchard wrote for a independent flying unit known as the Royal Air Force. That's when it became. But before then we had the Royal Flying Corps, and I know we always class this region as Bomber County. It was indeed a fighter county in the realms and the times and the era of the Second World War. So without going too far into that, number 3 Squadron in their history are the first to fly heavier than air aircraft. They formed in 1912 at Larkhill, so that's near Stonehenge Aerodrome. And you may notice a little bit of Stonehenge in what looks like their Roman numeral markings on their aircraft. With a mythological creature, they use a cockatrice, because in mythology it is known that the cockatrice was indeed the very first creature of mythology to fly, although, like we've always mentioned, Pegasus might have something to say about that. There were no witnesses in the Supreme Courts, because the cockatrice was known to turn people into stone. So there we go. But that's the link, and using the cockatrice on the Stonehenge monolith, or plinth, so to speak. That's all due to the fact that they were near Stonehenge when they formed. That's number 3 Fighter Squadron. Number 11 Fighter Squadron are the world's oldest dedicated fighter squadron. They've retained that letter F next to their numbers. In fact, they use Roman numerals on their squadron badge, and that is insignificant to have anything, shall we say, significant. Okay, so when they use Roman numerals or just standard numeracy, then it doesn't mean anything particular. It's just a traditional way of doing it. So number 11 Fighter Squadron have retained the fighter role, hence the letter F next to their number. And they've done that since 1915. Now the squadron we're looking at here is number 29 Squadron. They're the operational conversion unit. They will train the latest and greatest qualified pilots from RAF Valley who have passed their advanced flying training, hence the wings. So they are already professional pilots, but if their career is to go frontline in the Typhoon, they will come here and fly with number 29 Squadron, an operational training unit. So if, just going off on a tangent, if the career was to be the F-35B, then they'll go to Marham and fly with another operational conversion unit, number 207. So 29 Squadron, they take care of the schooling, the training the junior pilots to become frontline. So no matter where you're going to go in your frontline career with the Typhoon, no matter which squadron, you have to come here first with 29 to be qualified on the Typhoon. The next squadron we've got is number 41 Squadron. Now they are a test and evaluation squadron with the legendary motto seek and destroy. They used to have Echo Bravo on their Spitfires, so you may have seen that before. They test and evaluate the latest and greatest software, technology, equipment, hardware, software, ordnance, anything like that, and especially with the Typhoons having upgraded their ECR and AESA, their advanced radome technology inside there. So that's just an example. And finally, the latest and greatest squadron to have stepped up in 2018, started their operations here at Coningsby in 2020, is number 12 Squadron. They are a joint Qatari Emiri Air Force and Royal Air Force squadron. So with the interest of Qatar purchasing and adding the Typhoon to their inventory, the Royal Air Force have, together with the Qatari Emiri Air Force, have stood up number 12 Squadron to become a joint squadron to train the airmen of number 12, or at least the Qatari Emiri Air Force. They do have a training squadron here in England. It's at RAF Leeming, number 11 Qatari Emiri Air Force. They train on the Hawk T2. So Leeming, for the Qatari Emiri Air Force pilots, kind of like have Leeming as their RAF Valley. They train on the same sort of aircraft. It is a type of Hawk T2 like we have at RAF Valley. It is a Mark 167. The very first squadron to bring the Typhoon to RAF Coningsby was indeed number 17 Squadron, who brought the Typhoon on the 19th of May 2005. They are still active today, except they're based at Edwards Air Force Base. Yeah. And they fly the F-35B as the test and evaluation squadron for the Royal Air Force F-35B. So these are the markings of 29 Squadron. Pilots would have done an external check previous to our startup of our stream, looking for any loose ordnance. They'll check the back of the Typhoon, the nozzles, make sure the foreplanes are stable, pylons are secure, looking for any leaks, cracks, or anything like that, any problems that they can see externally. And then of course there is the internal checks as well. They'll check the back of the canopy along with the ejection seat as well. They'll do their checks. They'll remove the heads-up display and do their next checks, which of course is quite a while. It does take a bit of time, but that's aviation, whether it's military or civilian. Lots of checks have to be done. RAF Coningsby then, as we mentioned, the test and evaluation policing, and it's of course a QRA station, a quick reaction alert station. We have two in Britain, one here, this is QRA station number 2, south, and we've also got QRA station number 1, north, that's in Scotland at RAF Lossiemouth. QRA means quick reaction alert, which simply is a 24/7 365. Doesn't matter if it's Christmas, your birthday, a national holiday, they are on standby to scramble 24/7 365, no matter. And let's not forget, it's not just the pilots that go on to QRA as well, also the ground crew. And I've heard some wonderful stories of no matter what they're dressed like, well, they've just run out of bed, the ground crew have been known to just marshal out aircraft in not a lot of clothing. We'll leave it at that. So when all cleared to do so, RAF Coningsby's Typhoons will get the go-ahead to start up. All pilots will have to request with Tower, the air traffic controller Coningsby. Oi, oi, how we doing, Coningsby Tower? Pilots will just use a particular frequency, a dedicated frequency to Tower or ground to request a startup, and if cleared to do so, they will. So even down to starting up your aircraft needs clearance from air traffic controllers. There are various frequencies to do different things, by the way, for those that are new. So there'll be a ground frequency which takes care of the startups, the taxiing, and lining up and wait, and they can switch to Coningsby Tower. There's a separate frequency for that. There is a departures, arrivals, there's a primary, there's loads of different types of frequencies. So that this isn't just specific to Coningsby, there will be this in all airports. They'll have lots of frequencies to tune into, because obviously if you only had the one, well, no one will be able to get their message through in or out. This is the main ASP, that's Aircraft Servicing Platform. Pilots just call it the main for short, the main ASP. Typhoon, a 4th generation fighter, a legendary aggressive FGR-4 that it's dedicated with our Royal Air Force. That stands for Fighter, Ground Attack and Reconnaissance. So it's a multi-role, a swing role aircraft. It can switch roles just like that. Can be configured, and even on super cruise as well and supersonic speeds, it can still go into warfare mode, shall I say, because of the fact that not many aircraft can do that at supersonic speeds like that. The Eurofighter Typhoon made in 4 different countries. Now, for those that are regular to my channel, know that I love to do a little bit of sketching, a little bit of drawing and showing off models. Well, here is this is a new one. I made this today for you to have a look at. Hopefully this will come out okay on the screens there. Don't know if you can see that very well. Let's move it a little bit to the other side. That might be a bit better. Could be not. Let's have a look. So made in 4 different countries. There's my little quick diagram. You've got BAE, Leonardo, Airbus as well. And this is just an example of all the components. So you got your left wing made in Italy, your right wing made in Spain, the mid fuselage made by Airbus Germany, and other components. You got BAE making the 4 planes, the cockpit section, the radome, and at the back you've got BAE systems. And there's a lot at the back as well, mixed in with BAE and Leonardo as well. The Typhoon is made of 85% carbon composite, which is a posh way of saying plastic. In this main fuselage section, you've got about 30 kilometers of cabling and wiring. It's not your standard cables in there. It's not like what you got at home or behind your TV. These are highly insulated to cope with various atmospheric pressures and G tolerance as well. There are 6 bolts that actually hold each wing. I've had a look at them. They look really cool. And for example, in the Manching Airbus assembly factory, the Eurofighter, each one is actually named A to Z as a female name. Now, naturally, the Eurofighter is max speed at twice the speed of sound. The Royal Air Force, just like the Red Arrows have done to their Rolls-Royce Ardeur 151 engine, they've actually tweaked it. In fact, they've actually reduced the maximum speed to Mach 1.8. Now, Mach 1 means supersonic times 1, speed of sound, basically. So Mach 1.8, it's 1.8 times the speed of sound. They've reduced it because they've tweaked it, and they've tweaked it for good reason, performance. So sometimes, especially in motor world, in racing, if you adjust your maximum speed, you can actually increase your acceleration. The Typhoon's thrust to weight ratio, fully loaded, fully fueled. Let's talk about engines. The Typhoon is powered by 2 Rolls-Royce EJ200 engines with reheats, that's afterburner. They pump out 20,000 pounds of thrust. That means from its military power from 15,000 pounds of thrust each, 30% increase takes it all the way to 20,000 pounds of thrust each. The Typhoon weighs very little, empty, it's about 24,000 pounds. So do the maths. Of course the aircraft can't take off with no fuel. Just add a bit of fuel and some payload and you still got a heavier, or a more happier, probably the correct word, a more better thrust to weight ratio. Anything above 1 is good. So you do the thrust, bit of physics here, divided by your weight. What you want is a very, very low weight, even fully loaded, fully fueled. Remember that an aircraft can't fly without fuel, so 24,000 pounds, start adding it. So basically what I'm saying to you is the Typhoon, from releasing those brakes at the runway, 8 seconds later, not even reaching the arrestor cable, depending on pilot, can reach speeds of around 185 miles per hour in 8 seconds, and then can pull up into a 50-degree, 60-degree vertical climb. And the beauty is, because of the thrust to weight ratio of the Typhoon is so good, it can actually start accelerating vertically, which is impressive because not many aircraft can do that. 22 seconds after that, it is capable of going supersonic. So, not long now till we hear Typhoons starting their engines. Welcome to the Ted Coningsby channel. We're live here at RAF Coningsby as part of the Trooping the Colour. So many of you at the Mall, or the Mall. Mall or Mall? What are we calling it? Mall? Okay, it's in Pall Mall. So Troop in the Colour, a ceremonial event. Lots take part from the ground as well, including Horse Guards, a parade in London as well. Now it is, although classed as the King's birthday, or we've had the Queen's birthday in the past, it is officially the birthday of the British Sovereign, and includes regiments of the Household Division as well. And throughout the day, it is known as the Sovereign's Birthday Parade. Now, historically, the trooping, the colour or colours were once used on the battlefield as the rallying point. They usually signify the battle honours of a regiment and are a focal point of Troop in the Colour. And it's been marked as the official Sovereign's birthday since 1748. So during the ceremony, the monarch processes down the mall and Buckingham Palace to the Horse Guards parade in their royal procession. And there'll be a escort of household cavalry as the Sovereign's escort. These are mounted troops, or the Horse Guards. There'll also be music as well. And this year, like every other year, the Royal Air Force will carry out a fly past. I would imagine the Red Arrows will be there as well. But here at Ted's home, Ted's with us for the first time actually since we've been doing this. Usually he goes flying over Buckingham Palace, but this year he's staying with us to enjoy it. We do have TED flights coming up this year, by the way, so look out for them. So for those using ADSB will notice that the heavies are out at or heading for the North Sea already, just getting to formation very shortly. From Chinooks, P8 Poseidon, C-17s, A400s. I'm going to have a quick look myself now. And of course, if you just joined us, or if you are tuned in, don't forget to do your checklist as well. Please give us a thumbs up and hit the like button. And do think about subscribing to your one and only Ted Coningsby channel. And if you are subscribed, don't forget to marry up that subscribe button with the notification bell button as well. Do join us and do share and care if you'd like to share the stream to your friends and family via socials. When you get a chance, we've got some new merchandise, which I'll try and get Claire to bring me up an example of some new merch. We've got our Beret Recovery Team patches and key rings available. Thank you. So these are available now. The Beret Recovery Team. Made with, this also comes with Velcro. There's our Beret Recovery Team patch, 10 centimetre by 10 centimetre by 10. Oh yes, and we've also got the keyring version as well, in the 7 centimetre Beret Recovery Team, because we all know Ted and his beret, they do have a bit of fun time. So we've got a keyring and a patch. Like I said, it comes with Velcro, so you can do your worst stitching and then hide it and just make it look amazing. Available now on tedconingsby.co.uk. Thanks, Claire. Now, in true fashion that has been going on lately, the wind has picked up and come to say hello to the stream again. The wind just wants to be on the show, doesn't it? So, massive shout out to all of you who have joined us. Lots of you on the chat room now. So we got Wee Stevie Boy, Sonny K, got Claire Jowett, Margot, Sammy B, John Probert, how you doing? Davey, how you doing? Daniel Walker, who's here live and live. In fact, we've got a bit of a crew here. We got Claire Bear's here with us as well. We got Kev, we got Gucci Man from GucciBurger.com, and actually it probably is a place like that, isn't it? Gucci, you should have your own little like restaurant, man. Hey, we've also got Daniel Walker as well, and Simon Watchorn that is here live and live. Laser Tech 02, how you doing? Aspen, what up? Graham Avis, Edward Coates, hope we're all good. Captain A, how you doing? Thanks a lot, all of you that's joined us. We've got Newbie Flies Around Scotland, Mandy Somerville, good morning to you, Paul Mayers. And of course, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good day, wherever you're watching from in the world. Alan Burden, Sally Cullen, Paul Mayers, how are we all doing? Hope we're all well. Mark Garwood, Annie G, Wiggles Way. Lots of you on the chat, so thank you very much for joining us. So, Foon time coming up. So like I said, we're going to have a minimum of 6. There will be the spares going, or the reserves, probably the correct word. The spares going out as well. Probably 2, or minimum 2, maybe 3. I think it was 3 on the rehearsals, wasn't it? I'd like to say it was 3 last time when we were here. Not the rehearsal, sorry. The last time we were here for the V-Day fly past, there was, I'm pretty sure there was 3 reserves. But, never mind. No matter what we get, we'll certainly have a good time. It's a nice little Saturday stream for you. And I would imagine there's also a spare on the ASP as well, just in case. And I can see 1, 2, bless you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got 13. So they got what, 4 spares? Nice. Bless you, Claire.
Thank you.
All those suffering with hay fever, feel for you.
Yes.
I get it I get it as soon as I wake up, and that's the end of me done. I don't know what that means.
An all-dayer.
Claire gets the all-dayer. Big shout to everyone at RAF Coningsby, and what a moment it is for those taking part in the fly past. That must be such a great honour to fly over Buckingham Palace. And let's not forget the guys and the girls on the ground as well that are doing all this work to get the aircraft airborne. You know, whether it's the battlefield, whether it is a fly past, whether it is an exercise or training, all credit to those that rotate the aircraft to get them up and running. Because without them, there is no flying. And that goes hand in hand with World War II, where literally it was the ground crews aircraft and they would lend it to the pilots. It was always theirs. It took, you know, always takes pride. And you want that confidence with your ground crew to have them look after that aircraft like it's their own. So that's the confidence that is still passed on today. Oh, it's our mate. Oi, oi. Well, it is sunny, and there are or were planned Bbmf flypasts today, but they are potentially not taking part in the not the Troop in the Colour flypasts. There are other various flypasts. The wind is pretty punchy for them today, so for safety aspect reasons, they probably may have cancelled. And for those wondering about the Lancaster, it took off this morning. It's technically gone back home where it started at RAF Waddington. Number 44 Squadron. First to operate the Avro Lancaster in 1941. They got a, I was going to say an early Christmas present. It was on Christmas Eve 1941 when they received the Lancaster. And for those complaining about Christmas presents, how about a Lancaster for your Christmas present? But they did have 2 prototypes before it was even named the Lancaster. It was originally set to become the Avro Manchester Mark III, but it took on the name as we know today. But BT-308 featured a 3rd fin, had a central tail on BT-308 on the first prototype, bit like the Manchester Mark I, which we'll talk about later on. And then DG595, the second prototype, they did away with the central fin, and it was pretty much what we have today. And it took its first mission at Essen, the first ever Lancaster raid in March 1942. Again, 44 Squadron were based at Waddington, which is why I always say it's technically gone back home. Of course, you can go further back and actually go back to the very factory, but I always like to keep it linked with the lineage of the 1st Squadron. RAF Coningsby was opened in November 1940, so just a year after the start of the Second World War. The first squadron to, or the first residents to arrive, the squadron was 106 Squadron with the Handley Page Hampden bomber. Handley Page, the legend, who was I believe an electrician making various, he was inspired by the Wright brothers making various aircraft. He didn't have many hobbies, but he excelled at school. He was always top of his class and was building some legendary aircraft. Here we go. It's time to ride. Typhoon, as we get to know a little bit more, as mentioned yesterday, is a twin spool, so separate shafts between the turbine and the compressor. They kind of power each other up. The Typhoon is an 8-stage compressor, so 3 low pressure and a 5-stage high pressure compressor, compressing air 26 times, which is amazing if you think about it. 26 cubic centimeters is now 1 centimeter of cubic centimeters. Compressed air, more combustible, better to mix with, more economical. Speaking of economical, it is her bypass EJ200 engines at 0.4 to 1. Now then, with the advancements in technology inside that radome, when we started off with a Ferranti and Marconi ECR90, or the Captor M, the Beyond Visual Range, or BVR as it's abbreviated, is where it all happens, inside the radome, inside the nose of the Typhoon. You can lock onto fighter jets 160 kilometers away. 300 kilometers away if you were a larger aircraft. Can lock onto 20 to 30 targets, prioritizing on 6, which is phenomenal. Of course, Leonardo developing the ECRS Mark II. I believe that some of the Foons in Tranche 3, the latest and greatest that we have here, are being upgraded to the AESA ones, the active electronically scanned array, which means a better field of view, better detection, a 90-degree scope angle, so if the pilot's doing fighter maneuvers, they'll be able to still have their battlefield in range on their screens. Typhoon is fly-by-wire, which means for this has 4 main computers, keeping the unstable, or shall we say non-aerodynamic or unstable airframe, shall we say, stable, using all the computers to do all the hard work. Wind completely picking up now, so that'll be why the Spitfire and the Hurricane are not taking off today. Davey, I'm very good, thank you very much. I'm well, 96.7k. Nice. Getting closer to the big 100. Now we think it's runway 25. There's a bit of a crosswind at the moment. The Lancaster took off this morning using 07. So let's see. There is another runway, a 12 and 30, but that's not used by Typhoons. It is a short runway for lighter aircraft. Hope we're all good. Welcome to the Ted Coningsby channel. We're live here at RAF Coningsby. Hiya, you alright?
Yeah, you mate.
Good, thank you.
I enjoy your...
Oh, thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, mate.
Thank you very much. So if you tuned in, we do have our patches and key rings visit Clare by the Ted Coningsby Mobile 2.0. There we go, get ready. Some very, very punchy winds at the moment. So the Typhoon's running. So if they're using runway 25, we will see them taxi back after the fly past. If they're using 07, of course, we'll see them taxi past here, and we won't see them taxi back when they come back from the fly past. So either way, we will see them. Let's see what we're gonna get. Thanks for joining us today, ladies, gents and teddy bears. And I did promise you a weekend show. Here we are today. And of course, tomorrow we'll be taking a break. And we should be back, hopefully on Monday. I wonder where we're going to be all week next week. It's always exciting now because I can kind of like leave it. Can kind of like leave it last minute. Oh, bless your heart, thank you. That's dinner paid for, darling. So of course, hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel is free. Come and join us. We are on our way to, first of all, 97k, and then after that it's very close to the 100. Wouldn't that be great? The little channel. It'll always be my little channel. I remember the days just only a few years back when I just had 9 subscribers. I know, I couldn't wait for the big 10. And let's think about it, of the 9, one of them was me, my parents and Claire. So there was actually probably just 5 genuine subscribers. getting 10 was amazing. I loved that day. And here we are. We've built a lovely community of aviation enthusiasts sharing the same interests, but keeping it fun, of course, and making it a little bit different. It is a fun but serious channel. It's evolved into the history side of things, the lost airfields, and there are more prospects for the channel in the future as well, which I've got in the pipeline. So we'll see what I can come up with. And of course, with the family-friendly attitude that we have, it wouldn't be possible to keep the live chats and the Discord server 24/7, 365 sweet and neat without the span of flight, who are our dedicated moderators who put in the time and effort to look after the chats, and our Discord server, which is 24/7. So without them, we wouldn't be able to have a clean, sweet and neat, fun chat room. It was a bit daring to have a military channel without the politics and all the other things that can arise, all the speculative side of things in life, but I had a crazy idea and I did it, and it's going, still going. There we go. So there's our first Typhoon taxiing out for departure. Typhoon. Family version Typhoon.
Last time. Okay.
You alright?
The Lancer it's going that way again. So
okay, might be able to go
last time, didn't you?
Looking behind me for the Lancaster. No. No, I'm looking out for the lank if I can spot it. Should be around.
From Waddow straight over here.
It went from here to Waddow, and then it'll be back later tonight.
What, it's staying there then? It's not going to fly by with the damp on?
I think it will. Then it'll probably go back to Waddow for a little bit and then come back later. Did it land? Went to Waddow.
Did you see them two Typhoons with Finland the other day? No. It had 3 tanks on it.
Oh, did it? Oh, wow. Oh, nice.
One of them.
Cool.
Yeah, got it. Just it's way down that way. Can't see it. Really low over the tree. Literally just above the treetops.
Oh, yeah. That's a long way.
Fair
I'm
way away,
not
that.
even going to bother with that. That's a long way. Right, so looks like 9 Typhoons. So 6 of these will head for the North Sea, get into formation and start the fly past. 3 of them will hold nearby over land should they be required, and then once they start to run in for the fly past, the other 3 will eventually head back. You never know, one day we might get a Diamond 9, which we have done before. So here we go. It's time to ride. It's Typhoon time. I spotted a wing wave there. 9, wasn't it? Or 6? Oh, there's still more down there. There's the 6. So what? These are spare.
Should be 3 more, isn't it?
How many was that? 6.
6 that was, yeah.
So we should have the spare now. So we got our spare, our reserves getting ready now to depart. So it'll either be 2 or 3, usually 3 for this, but let's have a look what we got today. It's 3 reserve for the fly past. Windy at the minute. Well, there we go. That's our Typhoons. Those were our free reserve, should they be required. Thank you for joining us, ladies, gents, and teddy bears. We're going to wait for them to come back. Brent Mosley, how you doing from 15 Wing? Loving the photos that you send, thank you very much. Aspen, how you doing as well? Hope you're good. Captain A, Paul Mayer, Silver Trig, what up? How are we all doing? But it is really, really gusting. Feels like about 30 miles an hour gusting winds at the minute. Or maybe just a little bit more. I've had, it does feel like about 30. Whoa, that ain't fun, is it? It's a bit punchy up here. I know it's over 30 when the van starts rocking. Careful that beret, Ted. Russ Cashel, high five, thank you to Russ for joining the Ted Coningsby squadron. Russ Cashel, thank you for joining our squadron. Margot, thank you very much. Here's to a grand Here's to a grand royal fly past and our RAF. Thank you very much. Guards March, thank you very much. Nick Samuels, get yourself a cold one later, Nikos. Trust me, I will. I can't wait. It's gonna be good. Especially on days like this, a little fun stream. I just love it. And Sally Cullum, congratulations for reaching 2 years milestone, 24 months with the Ted Coningsby channel. Great job, Nikos and Ted. Thank you for being a member. It really means a lot, all that support. High five, Margot, thank you for gifting a Ted Coningsby membership. Guards March. Silsec, member for 10 months. Oi oi, love the TCS, love that, thank you very much. Margot, thank you very much for the super sticker, Guards March. And also Muzz, thank you for your 9 months membership, and also part of our Ted Coningsby Fighter Squadron. Best 9 months of my aviation life. Thank you TCS, Banner, Flight, Nikos, Claire, and of course Ted, thank you very much. Jane Ann, high five, thank you for gifting a Ted Coningsby membership, Guards March. And you can certainly hear that. Yeah, see you next week, man. Take care, man. Bye. Big shout out to Steve the Burger Van, who's having a day off today, just watching the food, so why not? Sounded alright, didn't it? Yeah. It got the nod from the... it got the nod. So if you like a little bit of merch, come and see the Claire Bear. She's got come and see the Tedmobile 2.0. She'll sort you out. Yeah, she's got the yellow t-shirt. So if you're tuned in the car park, Ted's got some Ted's brought with him some special beret recovery team patches and key rings. We'll have to show them on. You got any more? I'll put them on the screen. These are new, they're out now.
Just remind them that it's on both sides of the key ring.
Oh yeah. So we got the beret recovery team patch. It's come out, it's new. There it is. And I'm sure we're going to get a beret down today. And these are 10 centimetre, and we've also got the keyring, and Claire pointed out it is double-sided, the keyring. These are a little bit smaller at 7 centimetres. All our patches are always Velcro, so you can hide your worst work and then just cover it up. But of course, you can use this on any hook and loop. And what we got here, we got the hooks on that one. Is that loop? Actually, that is a good point. Would this be the loop, the rough side? And these are the hooks, yeah? Something like that. But anyway, got these. Grab them online. We do ship globally as well. Enjoy. Oh, thank you.
Little list at
Thank you very much. Oh, they're not for sale, and they're not mine, those ones. You can buy them on the RAF website, actually. You can buy them on there. They're a charity, so that always helps. That's where they're from.
For a bit, that one.
Well, come on then, let's go.
It's windy, isn't it?
I've got a 20, I don't take on it. Oh, have you got a tenner? Okay, actually, right, you're alright. You have to have money at the amusements, but...
How are we doing, ladies, gents, teddy bears? Hope we're all good. Ladies, gents, teddy bears. So the Typhoons about to meet up. The procession of aircraft out in the North Sea. The reserves not far behind, actually.
Relaxing and enjoying it. So it's very rare that happens.
So for those who'll be tuning in to see the fly past, we'll be able to have the luxury of watching them come back as well. So it's almost like having the behind the scenes at Coningsby, isn't it? It's really amazing to have that. How we doing? My name's Nikos, cameraman and commentator. What up? How we doing? I'm gonna try and hang in there. And while I've got probably about half an hour, maybe 40 minutes before the aircraft start to return. For those that are new to the channel, welcome. Thanks for joining in, and I'm sure you'll be able to tune in back, because for those, I do expect viewers to have a look at the fly past. Of course, naturally, we will have. I've got a little screen down here so I can have a look at it as well, because it is quite cool. But welcome to RAF Coningsby. We are here and what's labelled as Bomber County, but Bomber County, not anymore. But because we've got our Lancaster back here in Lincolnshire, it is back. But to give you an idea, World War I, this whole county, shall we say, was actually fighter county to defend against the Zeppelin raids. It was to take them out, those almost like airships, shall we say. And you know, that was kind of like fighter town, and it didn't become Bomber County, and of course, until Bomber Command formed in 1936. But as far as Coningsby's concerned, it has been a Bomber Command station from 1940 all the way up to 1969, when from there it became a fighter town again. And it's been a fighter town since 1969 with the arrival of the Phantom. Now, we are in England's second largest county, and like I said, during the Second World War it was nicknamed Bomber County. There was as many as 46 airfields, and the average between the spacing, as in mileage, was about 7 miles apart. So you were never 7 miles apart, you know, that you were never more than 7 miles apart, although that is the average. But to give you an idea, within around 7 miles you were guaranteed to have another airfield to another airfield. So for example, in this vicinity you've got East Kirkby, Spilsby, you've got RAF Whitehall Spa, which is what, about 5 miles, and probably the way the backwards crow flies, even less. But there you go. You've got Waddington that way, you've got Dunholm Lodge, you've got Metheringham. All these are very close, just off the top of my head. So before that, though, it was home to several airfields that stood at the end of the First World War. We had about 300 military airfields during the First World War. Sorry, my bad. During the First World War, we had 300 airfields, and at the end, what did we do with them? Well, it started to shrink and shrink and shrink. Of course, the First World War ended in 1918, 11/11, and by 1924. we were reduced to just 27 airfields. Now, many of the airfields were recalled for expansion, and by 1935 the military airfields began to pop up again and rise again. See ya! And the threat of another war was sadly a reality, and in 1936 Bomber Command formed along with Fighter Command and Coastal Command as well. Not too long after that we did have Training Command as well, with the forming of operational training units. And grass runways were the norm then. They were easy to create. All you needed to do was have hardened facilities, such as the hangars and that kind of thing, and a few various buildings. The some taxiways or hard stands were made with concrete, but the airfields generally were just grass runways. We didn't have concrete runways at the time. In fact, you accommodate for what you have. You accommodate whatever it is that you have at the time. Okay, so the grass runways were excellent for fighters, and if an airfield came under attack, we've all seen movies before where, you know, bombers will come and destroy, or fighters will come and destroy our Spitfires, for example, or Hurricanes on the ground. Thing is, with grass runways, although you had a dedicated grass runway, which we actually do have a grass runway here, which I'll show you, and the benefit of having a grass runway, if your dedicated runway got under attack and destroyed, a Spitfire can find some form of stretcher land to take off from, which we've all seen movies like that happen anyway. So that was the benefit of grass runways. They were, you know, although you had a dedicated runway, you're bound to find somewhere. Let me just show you the grass runway at Coningsby actually, which we have seen before being used. It is parallel with the main runway. It's just there with these two markers. Where is it? There you go. Two orange sort of squares there, and then the other end is just over there. The two little tiny little orange. That's, I've seen the Chipmunk use it a couple of times here for the Bbmf. Just use it because, of course, some of the airfields that they go to for displays, they do have grass runways, shutters, such as Shuttleworth, for example, Warden Aerodrome. So grass runways did have benefits, although they had a problem arising at the time with, well, we were are a very wet country. Drainage can be an issue, and of course, as our aircraft got bigger and bigger and heavier, grass runways weren't really suitable for them. In fact, if you mix heavier aircraft with bad drainage, then you're really going to struggle. So the need for hardened concrete runways was going to become imminent, but grass runways were okay for light bombers as well, but not for such as the Hampden bomber. Light bombers again suitable, but concrete runways were imminent. And when the likes of the Lancaster and other heavy bombers were introduced, Class A runways, which is what we called them, they're a triangular configured style of runway. So you got 3 runway strips in a triangle, or a letter A. This was introduced, and it became a requirement for any airfields built, or at least dedicated for heavy bomber use, from December 1940. You see, Coningsby's plans were in 1937, so plans to build it happened before the December 1940 layout by the Air Ministry. So November the 4th, 1940, this was done. We were done. We had RAF Coningsby here, and it was, again, like I mentioned, with just grass runway at the time, and it operated as number 5 group. Interestingly, number 5 group actually formed at RAF Mildenhall, and then the following month they moved to St Vincent's Hall, which is near Grantham. So the first residents to arrive and operate from RAF Coningsby happened on the 23rd of February 1941, and it was 106 Squadron who arrived here with Zulu November, who were operating the Handley Page Hampden bomber. The first mission and from here to actually take part, and the first mission here from Coningsby happened on the 1st into the 2nd of March 1941, when 5 Hampdens took part in a raid over Hamburg, and they even took part on another mission the night after that, into the 3rd to the 4th. But the following night of completing their next mission, 106 took for the skies and sadly lost their first aircraft, their first casualty of Coningsby, with the loss of all 4 on board. It was X3002, which failed to return from a mission, and it was the first loss of Coningsby, with all 4 sadly lost. Now I'll show you the Hampden bomber, the very first. If I set you the scene, for the very first aircraft. It was nicknamed the Flying Suitcase. So you have to imagine this with Zulu November on it. There's our Handley Page Hampden bomber. The specifications laid out at the time were 2 twin-engine bombers. This was what we had. We had Blenheims, Manchesters. We also had the Handley Page Hereford, which was a Hampden, but with different engines. It was the Napier engines. Now this, with 1,000 horsepower Bristol Pegasus engines, crew of 4, had a, you know, for the time, a 4,000 pound payload. Can also take a 18-inch torpedo. Was good at laying mines. And this is what we had at 232 miles per hour. The Flying Suitcase. Why was it called a Flying Suitcase? Well, the width of the fuselage, the width of the crew was just 1 meter. That's 3 feet. That's it. That's all they had. Pilot up here with a folding seat to squeeze in. Problems there, should the pilot get injured or worse, was a problem to get the pilot out so they can take over. But that was what we had first. A Handley Page Hampden bomber. There we go. You got the reds? And we got red arrows.
We're going behind the tree now.
Yeah, I got them. I got eyeball, eyeball, eyeball.
There's 4. Oh, there's the rest of them.
Okay, we've got a few trees at the minute. I see the others now. So red arrows up. The other 4 just behind them. Beautiful. So there we go, ladies, gents and teddy bears, the Handley Page Hampden, the first aircraft to operate at Coningsby. So on the 15th of March, ladies, gents and teddy bears, 106 Squadron were joined by 97 Squadron. Now they had markings Oscar Foxtrot. Now they were equipped with the Avro Manchester. However, the unreliability of the Manchester and the aircraft being grounded several times, in fact it didn't even see the end of the war. It was grounded and completed out of service in 1942. 106 Squadron were usually on their own during the first few months, and 106 Squadron had also a bit of a disaster because 106 Squadron had the reputation of being the highest, or shall we say, they're the squadron with the highest losses of any Hampden squadron. So both squadrons really suffering there. One, 97 Squadron with the fact that they were grounded all the time due to the Avro Manchester's performance, which we'll quickly talk about, and 106 Squadron having a disastrous start with becoming the the squadron with the worst losses as a percent of losses, and regular grounding of the Manchesters. Both squadrons took to the skies in Hampdens at times because of the Manchester with the engines. Now, it was the engines that were a problem, and for those that don't know what the Manchester looked like, I will just show you what it looked like, and you'll probably think, hang on, it looks like a Lancaster, and you're not going to be wrong if you say that. This is probably not a good idea in this, but I will do my worst. How are we going to do that? Right, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll quickly show you it, and yeah, this isn't going to work, is it? Goodness me, it's that bad. Right, he's going to do it. He's going to try. Hang on. That's what fingers are for. There we go. So there's our Avro Manchester. Looks very similar to the Lancaster, and you're not wrong. It just looks like a twin engine. Now, I would normally show you the other. Goodness me, it's really bad. You can just about see the third tail, the central tail. It looks interesting like that. So on the very first Avro Manchester, the Mark 1, it had a central tail as well, so it had 3 stabilizers. Now, it was almost the Lancaster. The problems were the engines. Now, the thing is with the Manchester, it was kind of forced into the battlefield. Why? Because we had Blenheims and underpowered, 1,000 horsepower engines on the Bristol Pegasus and the Hampdens. The performance wasn't really what we wanted, and the Air Ministry put out a specification, P12, I think it was 1236 off the top of my head, right? That's pretty good if I got that right. And they wanted a medium bomber with a lot more power, and they did just that. They got this. It was a wingspan of about 89 feet. Okay, the problems with the engines, they were the Rolls-Royce Vulture engines. Now, they were rated at 1760 horsepower, which is amazing. However, there were issues. My understanding, as I've been studying, is the fact that this was kind of forced into the battlefield. It was kind of like, we need something with a lot more power. It did, but it was unreliable. The ball bearings in here would cause all sorts of problems, and from what I've read, the majority of the problems weren't really, they happened after the raid. So when the crew, because it was a good bomb, it was, performance was good, but it started to have problems with the engine. The ball bearings started to overheat and catch fire, and there was a story that I read, and it seemed to be a common problem, that engine 1 would catch fire and engine 2, the pilot would report, not so good. And I've read many stories of bravery from pilots giving the bailout to their men, and the pilots usually just ending and falling with the aircraft. Very sad story. Propellers used to feather as well. They start to feather again. That play could cause more problems to the engine, again making them fail, catch fire, and all sorts. So this was grounded about a dozen times and did not see the end of the war. So what did they do? Well, Roy Chadwick and his men at Avro did something remarkable. In the end, like I said, some squadrons actually couldn't take off in missions. I'm going to try to locate where there's a Manchester crash site somewhere here. I'm going to try and locate it. Now, with this being really inoperable, and some, while converting to this, went back to the Hampden, we had a few problems here. So Roy Chadwick and Avro and his crew, what they decided to do was to use different engines, and they did this by increasing the wingspan by 6 foot either side, giving us around 102 foot. They added 4 engines. That's why they increased the wingspan. They added the Rolls-Royce Merlin 20 engines, ladies, gents and teddy bears. Yeah. The first prototype, BT308, had that central fin again. When they did away with that on a prototype number 2, DG595, they actually increased, I think, by about 3 meters the span of these at the back, that the H became wider by 3 meters. They did away with the central fin, and all behold, it was going to be called the Manchester Mark III. However, they did not. They ended up calling it the Avro Manchester. Delivered to number 44 Squadron, the first to operate the Avro Lancaster, and that was at RAF Waddington, which is why I always say it's gone back home at RAF Waddington, because that is where it happened. And of course the Lancaster took part in the first main raid into Germany, the Augsburg raid, which number 97 Squadron and 44 Squadron from RAF Waddington, number 44, took part in the Augsburg raid, led by squadron leader John Nettleton, who was awarded the Victoria Cross for that bravery, because 12 Lancasters went, 6 from number 44, 6 from 97, who took off from Whitehall Spa, which we'll talk about Whitehall Spa in just a moment. And that one, 97, was led by squadron leader John Sherwood. He wasn't awarded the Victoria Cross. He did survive. In fact, he was lucky to be alive. I'm just going to put this away before I lose the Manchester. But there you go. That's a little bit of brief background about the Manchester, while I've still got time to talk to you about the history of Coningsby. So April the 10th to the 11th in 1941, 106 Squadron were sent on a small scale raid over Dusseldorf, and 2 more Hamdens were lost by night fighters. The 8 men who were lost lay side by side in a Dutch cemetery where they fell. In July and August, 106 Squadron lost a total of 15 aircraft, 15, and in August 1941, Hamden AE-193, piloted by Sergeant Leon, was heading home from a raid on Duisburg when a disaster struck, as both Olympus Pegasus engines failed whilst 40 miles out over the North Sea near the island of Texel, Netherlands. Leon managed to actually land his aircraft safely on into the sea, but what they endured for the next 4 days without getting blown off here was pretty bad. So's the wind. Pocket chair down, pocket chair down. Goodness me, it's windy. When the crew managed to get out and they survived the crash into the sea, we managed to land it in the sea. They got in their lifeboat, they managed to inflate that, and they used the harnesses from the parachutes, and they were using their life jackets to make a sail. And for 2 days they were cold, they were getting rained on, and in the icy cold night. But the next 2 days after that, they experienced the opposite, blazing heat. There were planes that went past and boats that went past, but they weren't spotted until dehydrated and just basically in and out of just sort of feeling that sort of hunger and just sort of trying to survive while losing consciousness. They actually woke up on the shore, but they were spotted by the fishermen, and they were handed over to the German officials, who did give them treatment because they were living on raw fish and just lack of fresh water. But they were prisoners of war and survived. 97 Squadron were having a better time actually with their Manchesters, and on the 8th to the 9th of April 1941, 97 Squadron took to the skies in their new aircraft on a night raid for the largest raid of the war by Bomber Command, which was on Kiel. But the Manchester again was to have a series of accidents and crashes, one here at Coningsby, and many were lost during raids, and it usually happened homebound as well. So like I said, have a look at it if you want to know more about the Avro Manchester. But you know, it's really ironic, because you know, at the end of the day, if it wasn't for the Manchester, we would not have had the Avro Lancaster. So it's one of those things, isn't it? And then of course I touched on it the other day, a story about what happened to 4 men on the 2nd of October 1941, AD 768, were sent on a raid over Carriages, which is near Frankfurt. It was led by Sergeant Newby, departed at 1800 here at Coningsby. Now they were really close to the target, about 5 minutes away, and the weather just deteriorated and they couldn't really see the target, and the order was to turn back. But you know the RAF, you know that press on, must keep going attitude that they had. And Newby was, you know, Sergeant Newby, he pressed on and he saw his target, released the bombs, his 4,000-pound bombs. I think it was 4 1,000-pounders, I think it was. But they did it. But what was to happen next was a tragic of events that saw these four men spend the rest of the war in Ireland. On their way back, they were met with ME-110s. They did avoid them. They got away from them. The aircraft took some damage until eventually disaster struck over Ireland, although they weren't quite sure where they were. But they knew they were over land. But the problem was, with all the evasive manoeuvres, they kind of lost track. I mean, Coningsby and Ireland are quite a long way from each other. The men bailed out because the two engines actually failed, so they must have been damaged perhaps during their interaction with the ME-110s. Ireland was neutral, which meant that they were interned, so they had to spend the rest of the war just interned and had to wait. There we go. With all the issues that Manchester was having, though, 106 Squadron were actually converted to the very Manchester in early 1942. And by February 1942, Coningsby's satellite station, RAF Whitehall Spa, which we'll talk about, was complete with hardened runways. Remember, anything after December 1940 proposed were going to be built with hardened runways. Some stations actually closed to have them converted because that was deemed the right thing to do, because obviously if you've got heavy bombers, you've got the squadrons already, all you needed to do now, you've got your base, just upgrade them. But it meant closing them, but they had to do that strategically. 97 Squadron received the new 4-engine bomber, of course the Avro Lancaster, but were operating them out of Whitehall Spa as Coningsby's grass runway were not suitable for the Lancaster heavy bomber. However, a new type of aircraft required the crew to be trained on. Don't forget, they're used to the Hampden, they're used to the Manchester, so you need to train them. Now, we've mentioned this before on our streams where they form a new squadron out of B flight. What they did from the squadrons, they formed a heavy conversion unit, which meant they made like an OCU from a particular flight out of the squadron. So 97 Squadron formed their own conversion unit to fly at Coningsby. So Coningsby had a satellite station, just like, wow. That's why probably the Spitfire and the Hurricane are not going out today. So although Coningsby had Lancasters, they were operating them at their sort of like satellite station, Whitehall Spa. So there we go, and 106 Squadron did the same as well to train the crew on the 4-engine bomber. Eventually 97 Squadron did move to Whitehall Spa, and during bad weather aircraft were going to be used from Whitehall Spa instead. 106 Squadron didn't have the best start in the Manchesters, with missions being aborted, but did get to carry out their first sortie in their new aircraft on the 20th of March 1942. It was Warrant Officer Merrill successfully planted the mines off Kiel. In 1942, 106 Squadron was to have a new wing commander, aged just 23. Wing Commander Guy Gibson, who'd come from 29 Fighter Squadron with 4 aerial victories, took command of the squadron, increasing the morale of the squadron. Now, he was the youngest CO of Bomber Command in a squadron, and Gibson got himself back into flying to, just to prove his point that, he can get back into flying. He didn't want any office roles, any desk jobs as they called it. He got himself into mine laying on the Baltics, 22nd of April 1942, and 3 more sorties in the Manchester during the following 3 weeks. Gibson was a great commander and a pilot for the squadron, that he was highly recognised for his missions. In fact, he did 18 night sorties, 6 consecutive. We all know how dangerous these missions were. To do 6 in a row is amazing. So he was noted by the Air Ministry, which for me is probably why he was chosen to become the CO, or the commanding or wing commander, the CO, sorry, for 617 Squadron Dam Busters, which at the time was Squadron X. 30th of May 1942, Coningsby's aircraft took part in the 1000 bomber raid over Cologne, which 3 night sorties in May, 30th and 31st. Eventually, in mid-1942, 106 Squadron took their last mission at Coningsby before moving to Syerston, while Coningsby closed to have its runways upgraded. and on its final mission with the raid over Bremen, sadly 3 of their aircraft failed to return. The transformation to the new runways meant that flying ceased for nearly a year. It was September 1942 to August 1943, but during this time they made use of the facilities. I mean, you've still got the building. So the number 5 group training school were here. They took residence, as well as the Bomber Command's field cookery to cook some chucken and other good food as well. You also had number 5 group G equipment school as well. And 106 Squadron eventually moved to Metheringham. And don't forget, not only to visit the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight Museum, you can also pay for a hangar tour, and they got a really nice gift shop. Do visit RAF Metheringham Airfield Heritage Centre as well. There's lots of stuff there. It's got things on Guy Gibson as well. And of course, our good friend Andrew Panton with East Kirkby's Lincolnshire Aviation Heritage Centre as well. So much here to visit. So yeah, there we go. So the transformation took place. So that meant 97 Squadron stayed at Woodhall Spa, Silverstone for 106, and then they went to Metheringham as well. So they stayed there with their Lancasters, and that was in 1943. In the spring of 43, first to use the new runways were actually number 1514 Beam Approach. Goodness me, training flight with the Avro Anson and Oxford. It was the Beam Approach training helped pilots land in poor visibility using a beam approach system, bit like an early ILS. On the 25th of March 1943, goodness me, this is awful here, man. Oh, keep going. Coningsby was back in Bomber Command operations, and the famous 617 Squadron were the first residents. They did actually swap with 619. So, you know, the Petwood Hotel, that had officers staying there of 619, and then eventually 617 Squadron as well. So that's why we have our party there. It's quite an affinity. RAF Scampton always has its connection with 617 Squadron, but you know what? In reality, it was Woodhall Spa that really needs to be associated with 617 Squadron. Oh, cool. So there we go. 61 Squadron also were here with Avro Lancasters. Both 61 and 619 took to the skies in many raids here, and many losing aircraft and men over raids over Berlin, and of course the disastrous Nuremberg raids as well. So yeah, so we spoke about Woodhall Spa just then, and it is true to say that Woodhall Spa is really a lot more connected, or as in a lot more missions with 617. I know it's probably got Scampton and 617 as a link, but that's probably because of the Dambuster raids. I'm just trying to support my Avro Manchester from leaving me at the moment, but there we go. So I hope we're all good, ladies, gents, teddy bears. Are just trying to see, what time is it now? Have they gone over London now? Must be getting close. Just gonna have a quick look before I continue. Oh yeah, right now, aren't they? They're heading for it. There we go. D-Day as well. Coningsby's squadrons also took part in D-Day. 18 Lancasters took off on the 6th of the 6th. 1944, 18 Lancasters, 4 failed to return from that raid. It was Coningsby's first, in fact, 97 Squadron were the first of the RAF losses on D-Day. We also had Mosquitoes here in 1944. They began operating at Coningsby, and it was on the 19th of September 1944 that 5 Group Bomber Command were given another mission to use Mosquitoes, and this was the last time we ever saw Guy Gibson here, because he took off using KB 267, a Mosquito of 657 Squadron. Guy Gibson actually took off from Woodhall Spa. Sadly, that was the last time anyone ever seen him. Gibson's aircraft was seen crashing at Steenbergen around 22:30 after the raid. Gibson flew a total of 171 missions and shot down 4 enemy aircraft with his time as a night fighter with 29 Fighter Squadron, and he was only 26, just like Rob Middleton yesterday when he died. 97 Squadron and 83 Squadron were operating the Avro Lincoln here, so another aircraft that was operating here, along with further Mosquito Squadrons making Coningsby their home in 46, and 109 Squadron, and also 139. We had another aircraft here in the 1950s. We had the Boeing Washingtons, which was the RAF's name for the B-29s. They were flying with 15 Squadron, who were once at RAF Mildenhall flying the Lancasters. And also, 3 years after that, Coningsby was to have and operate the very first jet aircraft. Ladies, gents, teddy bears, in 1953, RAF Coningsby received the English Electric Canberra. 9, 12, 15 and 249 squadrons operated that. And in the 60s, of course, it's famous for the influx of the V-Force. Well, yes, you got that right. Coningsby actually had Avro Vulcans here between 1962 and 64. But there came a time where the Canberra needed to be replaced and careful consideration had to be done. RAF Coningsby was chosen to become a TSR-2 base, which sadly didn't go ahead. So they ordered 50 F111K aardvarks. 2 were pretty much complete, but it didn't go ahead. I'm gonna have to find out why, because in the end, they chose to have Phantoms instead. 1969, ladies, gents, and teddy bears, number 6 Squadron arrived here, making Coningsby again another new era for it. It became a fighter town, and it dropped the bomber command or bomber county sort of role, even though it's synonymous Lincolnshire, but it was now a fighter town. Squadrons such as 228, who were the operational conversion unit, 41, 29, 23 and 56 fighter squadrons alike. Some of those squadrons actually moved to RAF Wattisham. I know it's not RAF Wattisham now, but it was, and it was acting as its role at Wattisham was a QRA station, which is what Coningsby is now. I think we had other QRA and QRF stations such as Leeming, and I'm just trying to think if Lucas acted as a QRA station once upon a time. That one I'll have to find out. In 1976 saw the arrival of the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight, so the Bbmf moved from Norfolk for, I think it was Cottesmore, and they made Bomber County its home at Coningsby, Ted's home. Just going to move this again. Jaguars were also here as well as Harriers with 41 Squadron. Tornadoes arrived from 1984, starting off with the F3, and then of course at BAE Warton Aerodrome, things were going on there in 2003. I know, 17 reserve squadron at the time. They were being trained on the new aircraft that was going to arrive. Don't forget, when you got a new fighter or a new bit of equipment, it's there to replace something. So the Tornado had its time. Bless it. We love the Tornado. However, we also love our Typhoon. The Tornado really thrived below 24,000 feet. It was a low-level strike attack aircraft. It loved it. Again, it depends which Tornado it was, but it thrived on low level. So in 2005, 19th of May, ladies, gents, and teddy bears, number 17 Squadron brought with them the Typhoon. That's right, number 17 Squadron. They brought with them the Typhoon, and that was in 2005, along with, oh, did I get that right? Lucas, yes, thank you. So Lucas did act as a QRA station. Thank you. Thanks, Davey. So yeah, and 29 Squadron followed. They became the operational conversion unit. Trying to think numerically or chronologically. Then 3 and 11, then 41, and then finally number 12 Squadron arrived. There we go. That's my quick history before I miss everything. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks a lot for tuning in and listening. Oh yeah, made it sound like I'm leaving. I'm not leaving just yet, but hope you enjoyed the history. For those, thanks for the feedback. They do like me to say it because sometimes they miss stuff. And sometimes, of course, I do try to add in extra stuff. Like this time off the top of my head, I added Lucas. Always learning. At the moment, I'll tell you what I'm learning a little bit more is going into a bit more depth in the B. I'm trying to go in a bit more depth on the B-17, and I know, right? Check this out, the Short Sunderland. Beginning to like the, not that I didn't, but I didn't know much about the Short Sunderland. Man, and that's thanks to the Short Sterling, by the way. But there we go. Actually, before I get ready for the arrivals, I'm just gonna have a quick cup of tea. See ya.
Thanks for that.
So they're just starting to run. to run it in now, aren't they? Oh, look at him. Who's dancing there? Oh, that wind is pretty bad. Hello. Everything all right? Yeah. Are they Typhoons going over now? Are they all right? Oh yeah. Who is it? Yeah, I will. What's the account?
It's going there. It's a street. It's just actually one street.
That's fine, because I'll put it on the. I'll actually show it on the street. But then will I be copyrighting myself then? Yeah, people do that. On the downside of the street, just to say I'm on to you. Yeah? Probably DC. I should have told them they're Typhoons.
Yeah.
Right, we all good? They've gone over now, haven't they? Oh, here they come now. That looks like the Fortunate. Yeah, I'm not. I know it's not Somerset. Somerset will be Yeovil, so it'll be Wildcats. But anyway, thanks for that. Oi, oi, how you doing? Good, thank you.
When are they due back? Do you know?
About 20 minutes maybe. They're just going over Buckingham Palace in about 1 minute or so. Oh, cool. 29th, yes.
I work there.
Oh, nice, nice. Cool. How we doing, ladies, gents, teddy bears? Hope we're all good. How we doing, ladies, gents, teddy bears? Hope we're all good and well. So we're just going now, and we should be having them arrive very shortly. Thanks all of you for joining us today. Yeah, no beret Ted for this, I'm afraid. Goodness me, that is not even a flag. God, Ted will take off in that. Babs R, thank you very much. High five to Babs. Guards March, thank you for gifting a Ted Coningsby membership. We Stevie Boy Bovril for Jens Bundesliga. Guards March. Thank you very much. Oh, one back already. Thank you. Any more? I forgot about the reserves. Oh dear. Nice initial into the brake, into downwind. You can tell it's the weekend. Just that crow nearly smashed into me there. Nicely done. That's one of the 9. 6 in the fly past, and of course 3 of the reserves. I totally forgot that. So that's the way the Typhoon rumbles. 4 planes in the downward position there, creating a bit of drag like a speed brake. Or at least in this instance an air brake. Totally forgot about the reserves. Oh my word, that is bad up here. So a very proud moment for those, not just for the Typhoons, but all those that played a part in the fly past. A very, very proud moment for what it is, trooping the colour, the birthday, the official birthday for the British Sovereign. And a very proud moment for all those involved as well. The amount of time and effort and planning you know, from the rehearsal video that we put on today, all that time and planning and getting all the flight paths and having the NOTAM set, all the air traffic controllers making way to make this happen, all the organisers even on the ground. But of course, as we are an Air Force channel, I must be biased to the Air Force side to, you know, and highlight the Air Force side of things, from ground crew to all the engineers, those now just refilling the aircraft, getting ready for this. So it's just a wonderful opportunity for king and country, as it is. You know, it's that beautiful, proud moment, and this is how it should be. So, you know, for those who have their British flag with them now, do it. Let's go. Come on, Ted. Wind or not, fly it. Go on, Ted. Get ready, beret recovery team. It's still there, still going. Hey, it's gone. Thanks, man. Kev, get you a card, mate. Claire, you might get it in the glove box on the top above the steering wheel. Kev gets a beret recovery team card. There should be a black pen in there. Yeah, I'll show you. So if you are fortunate enough to grab Ted's beret, we have these special cards. A beret recovery team official card, which I will sign. Oh, did you give me another one? I made a mistake already. It's not me that signed it, it's Ted. Bail. I signed it under me. One for your club. Yeah, auction.
Yeah.
Thank you. Kev, you're now part of the beret recovery team.
Thanks very much, my mate. Thank you.
You're welcome, man. They're a bit of fun, aren't they?
Yeah.
Just a bit of fun. So Kev is now part of the beret recovery team.
Oi, oi.
Nice. Just a bit of fun, you know how it is. Thank you very much for getting us to 1,000 likes as well. Got another Typhoon inbound as well. Typhoons to return back to base. I hope you've all enjoyed today. Ladies, gents, teddy bears. For those that tuned out, of course, naturally for the fly past, I did do a, you can always rewind it and catch up on all the history of RAF Coningsby and its squadrons during its time. Absolutely awful, isn't it? Now, for those wondering where the Spitfire and Hurricane are for today's fly pass, I can see why they're not going ahead today with this. It's not light aircraft weather today, especially for heritage aircraft with the likes of the Spitfire and the Hurricane. Wolf on one flight, just about to turn over East Kirkby, in on finals here at Coningsby. Thanks a lot everyone for your kind words. Thanks for joining us. This is your one and only Ted Coningsby channel, the only official Ted Coningsby channel that's out there. And if you just joined us, here come a two-ship now. Rocking here. Amazing. Beautiful four-ship there now. bit of a blue sky for a change. Trying to operate in this wind is hilarious. God, I love it.
Later is the Lancaster, and that one's at 6 o'clock.
Kick on.
You alright, buddy? How you doing?
How's the flight?
Yeah, it takes 3 months to shut it down.
I'm under.
Yeah, thanks for that, man.
So, I didn't know you were in.
Yeah, nah, I found another one as well. Yeah. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Nah, appreciate it, man. Well, there we go, ladies, gents and teddy bears. What a day we've had. And it's been a lovely day. Thank you, all of you, for tuning in. And that beret is so going to go again, isn't it? Dave Holloway, high five. Welcome to the Ted Coningsby Squadron Guards March. And Dave Holloway, thank you. 18 months membership. Thanks a lot. What a day to get 18 months. Oh, yeah. Wayne Moy, thank you very much for the super chat. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Janet D, member for 4 months. Thank you for that. And Mrs. Davey as well, 23 months membership as part of a posh officer. Great stream as usual. Thanks, everyone. And thank you as well. Thanks so much. With the last few scenes of Coningsby before we finish up. A proud moment for these pilots who flew over Buckingham Palace for Trooping the Colour, the King's birthday fly past today. Great day, thank you. And if you haven't done so already, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to your one and only Ted Coningsby channel. We're very, very close now to a phenomenal 97k. It's been amazing, and we'd love you to join us. Oi, oi! Thank you. Thanks. Later tonight. It's got various fly paths, so it'll be late. Well, not late tonight, but early evening. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, there we go, ladies, gents and teddy bears. This whole thing's falling apart from the wind. Is hilarious. Oh, there we go. Well, I hope you enjoyed today. It's lovely to get, you know, I do like doing a little weekend stream in there. It always feels like a... Oh yeah, don't forget to get yourself a Ted HQ t-shirt. There is a delay if you haven't noticed it. It was out on the 10th of June. There was a message, any orders between, if you've placed an order for a t-shirt between the 11th and the 30th of June, there's a delay on t-shirts, all right? So you can still order them, go ahead, get them ready, but we won't be able to actually start delivering them until the first sort of week in July, all right? So just to let you know, there is a delay on the t-shirt. You can order everything else, and yeah, don't forget you can order the... See if I can make this work without getting blown off here. Got the Ted HQ t-shirts. Thanks to all of you who have been wearing the Ted HQ and sporting the Ted HQ t-shirts at air shows. Well, what a day, and what a proud moment it is for our Royal Air Force. And like I said, I'm more biased because we highlight the Air Force, is what we do. But without doing that way, I just want to say we're all proud of you, everyone that took part in our armed forces today. And of course for King and Country as well, you know, it is part of our heritage, our history here in Britain. And if you've got a British flag, fly it, let's go on Ted, go on. You might take off, but if you're going to take off, it might as well be today. A great day for all of us and a proud moment. And I've mentioned it before, you know, because this is a QRA station, this takes on the legacy of World War II, and of course before that of the Royal Flying Corps. So all our armed forces, thank you very much, and we're very proud of you and very proud of everything that you do for us as well. And bringing it back to our Air Force, thank you for what you do. So ladies, gents and teddy bears, just want to say a massive salute to RAF Coningsby. Thank you very much for that, thank you. And all of you as well. Oh, and we got an applause as well, thank you very much. So I hope you've enjoyed it. My name's Nikos, I've been your cameraman, historian and commentator. This is our squadron leader, Ted Coningsby. You've been watching the Ted Coningsby channel live here at RAF Coningsby. So, for the last time for the week, it is see you soon, wish you well, see ya! Thank you. That was brilliant. Right, let's hit the button, Teddy. See ya. Hello.
Photo with you
Yeah,
again.
give me a minute. I've just got to go offline. Oh yeah, ladies, gents and teddy bears, welcome to the Ted Coningsby channel membership. I'm Nikos, I'm your cameraman and commentator. This is our squadron leader, Ted Coningsby. Just want to say a massive thank you to all our members. Guns up, and oh yeah. Take it away, Ted. Ladies, gents and teddy bears, we want to say a massive thank you to all of our subscribers for getting us to where we are today. We have gone all over the country, from as far as Lossiemouth to Bryce Norton, and military areas such as air weapons ranges, low flying areas, heritage centres and special flights for TED 2. We cannot do this without your support, and your support will be rewarded. You can now join the Ted Coningsby Squadron and help fund the channel to get us around the country and provide us with the funds for equipment to bring you better content too. We have 3 exciting membership levels with awesome YouTube perks to reward you back for your support. Our first level of membership is the Ted Coningsby Squadron. You'll get a loyalty badge on YouTube, unique TCS emojis that you can use on comments and live streams, members only videos which include behind the scenes, deleted scenes, sneak previews and also music videos that Ted likes to play the electric guitar on. You'll also get access to members only Discord server and discount on all of our Ted Coningsby merchandise. All of this for just $1.99 a month. Oh yeah. Our second level of membership is the Posh Officers Club. This includes all of the squadron perks, private Posh Officers Discord chat room, Posh Officers discounts on all of our Ted Coningsby merchandise, and the poshness of supporting the TCS even more. This is just £4.99 a month. Our third level was inspired by many of our fans who have been supporting the channel massively. So we'd love to reward you back with this, and our third level of membership is the Ted Coningsby Fighter Squadron. This gives you a more personal experience with me and Ted, with exclusive live streams and content. You'll get a free Ted Coningsby Fighter Squadron patch, a private Ted Coningsby Fighter Squadron Discord chat room, a gold colour Discord username, and a higher discount on all of our Ted Coningsby merchandise. All this for just $25.99 a month. Ladies, gents and teddy bears, the Ted Coningsby channel cannot thank you enough for all your support. And it's this support that keeps the dream, keeps the stream. Thank you so much. Aw, yeah.
accordion.